Menopause is often a stage that brings concerns for women. Many of these concerns, understandably, relate to health due to a higher likelihood of certain medical conditions such as type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and cardiovascular disease. Yet, the prospect of weight gain can also be daunting. It's no secret that the US is one of the countries struggling most with obesity rates, with 41.9% of its population estimated to be obese, according to the CDC. But did you know that among US women between the ages of 40 and 65, this already alarming statistic rises to 65%, and for US women over 65, soars even further to 74%. So weight gain concern for midlife women is definitely within reason. Although keep in mind that correlation does not equal causation. So just because a vast amount of women seem to gain weight around the age of and following menopause, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's predominantly due to menopause itself, as the physiological consequences of aging toward weight gain are also worth consideration. As a result, we'll be having a look at the literature discussing whether the increased prevalence of body weight in middle-aged women is due to menopause or simply a consequence of aging in today's video. But first, as always, please take note of our disclaimer. To start off with, it's important to point out that menopause is not a disease. It's a normal phase of a woman's life defined as occurring 12 months after the last menstrual period and marks the end of menstrual cycles. As a result, the ovaries stop releasing eggs and producing most of their estrogen. The average age that women reach menopause is around the age of 51, but it usually begins in the mid-40s. Menopausal symptoms can include sleep disruptions, mood conditions, hot flashes, and infections of the urogenital tract. At the same time, negative metabolic consequences can arise during this time, such as insulin resistance and glucose and lipid metabolism disturbances, which are some of the reasons which bring about the increased risk of certain health conditions we alluded to at the onset of this video. But menopause is actually broken down into 4 phases. The first is premenopause, where a woman has a regular menstrual cycle without any noticeable symptoms of menopause. The second is perimenopause, usually beginning in a woman's 40s, where estrogen starts slowing, fewer eggs are released, and some symptoms begin to surface. The third is menopause itself, and the fourth is postmenopause, where fortunately the symptoms that occurred in the perimenopause and menopause phases gradually start to subside, but unfortunately where the risk increases for the health conditions outlined. Whether the enhanced weight gain rate in midlife women stems from menopause or simply aging is controversial. Kozikowski et al. In 2017 suggested that although the mechanisms of the increase in body weight seen during menopause aren't clearly elucidated, one key player could be the drop in estrogen levels associated. This is because when optimal levels are present, estrogen affects the hypothalamus in the brain in such a way that it reduces food intake and stimulates energy expenditure. So on the flip side, when estrogen levels fall, the opposite is said to occur, meaning enhanced food intake and lowered energy expenditure. Additionally, there can be some indirect consequences that menopause can have toward weight gain worth pointing out. As mentioned earlier, sleep is adversely affected by menopause for many women due to randomly waking up at night due to the symptoms of the condition, or obstructive sleep apnea. Poor sleep relates to weight gain as it worsens appetite hormone regulation, causes fatigue, and reduces brain function the following day, resulting in less physical activity and worse dietary decisions. And simply because fewer hours of sleep means more opportunities to eat. Accordingly, due to both these direct and indirect effects, weight gain resulting from menopause could definitely make sense. Yet the North American Menopause Society states that there's no literature demonstrating this effect. In fact, one study which monitored weight gain between a group of premenopausal women and a group of women who had a natural menopause found no significant differences in weight gain. Additionally, in the SWAN study, an abbreviation for the study of women's health across the nation, where a telephone survey was completed in the US by 16,000 people, no difference in self-reported BMI was found between premenopausal and postmenopausal women. Of course, self-reported measures aren't completely reliable, but the researchers confirmed the result in a small cross-sectional study. Taken together, this evidence would support the premise that menopause isn't what causes the accelerated rate of weight gain seen in midlife women. So then, what is? On a side note, if you're interested in undertaking our evidence-based and results-backed personalised Plato weight management program, please click the link in the top right-hand corner of the video or follow the link in the description. The North American Menopause Society suggests it's due to aging and lifestyle choices. Studies propose that steady weight gain in women of menopausal age occurs at about half a kilo or 1 pound yearly, due to aging outside of any hormonal effects of menopause. However, not only did a large longitudinal study monitoring the body composition in 543 midlife women over 6 years report that there was a 10% increase in fat mass on average, but also a 1% decrease in skeletal muscle. And this muscle decline associated with aging is actually one of the main ways suggested to contribute to weight gain as people get older. Now, you may say, but if you lose muscle mass, shouldn't this result in less weight and not more? Well, as a matter of fact, the amount of muscle mass you have contributes considerably to how hard your metabolism runs, a process that burns approximately 60% of our overall calories day to day, when working optimally to power our most life-sustaining functions, such as breathing, circulation, nutrient processing, and cell production. So its decline then means considerably fewer calories burned daily and hence weight gain instead. In addition, aging is associated with decreased physical activity, which makes up around 30% of the remaining 40% of calories you burn daily. And this decrease in physical activity further compounds the reduction in muscle stores as we age. So, in sum, the literature implies that menopause isn't what's causing increased rates of weight gain in women later in life. Rather, it looks like it's the result of aging and the increased likelihood for sedentary behaviour that go along with that. For that reason, this only goes to show the importance of regular physical activity as you age, as well as adequate protein consumption. Recommendations advise at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic activity each week, plus at least 2 or more times of muscle strengthening activities. But for the overweight and obese, it's advised to do higher levels of exercise to combat muscle loss. Also, midlife women are advised to have between 0.45 and 0.55 grams of protein per pound of body weight, or 1 to 1.2 grams per kilo of body weight daily. What are your thoughts on whether weight in midlife is due to menopause or simply aging? We'd love to hear from you in the comment section down below. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. So, that has been our video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.